What it do, Jive Turkeys? Welcome back to The Controversy. I'm your host, Ian Elliott-Carter, and it's no mystery. My favorite movie of all times is Roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads. That's right, Back to the Future. I think that is a perfect trilogy. The first one is a perfect movie. But as CinemaSins would say, there's no movie without sin. Recently, during this pandemic, James Gunn has been very vocal about movies lately on his Twitter account. And he's been talking about perfect movies, some of his favorite movies. And he's saying that even movies like Back to the Future have mistakes. And he pointed out this one scene that a lot of people throughout the years have always questioned. When Marty was in the past and then came back to the future, one of the first people he saw was his parents. And it's funny. You would think someone that had such a great impact on these people's lives, the reason that they got together, they would remember what this guy looked like. And he is the spitting image of their baby boy, Marty McFly. You would think they would come together like, holy crap, was Marty McFly Calvin Klein this whole time? Or do you think that maybe George McFly was like, why does my child look like Calvin Klein? Were you cheating on me, bitch? And you know, that is a great point. You would think they would remember that. As I said, I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. Look at this. Look at this. I got the almanac, baby. I even collect some of the comics. I got the vinyl. You know, I'm that type of fan. The Hollywood Reporter actually did a video about this situation, and the director actually responded. But let's watch the video. I'm going to react to it a little bit, all right?
Well, it looks like it's case closed, Doc. A heated debate about an apparent major plot hole in 1985's Back to the Future recently reignited amid the popular social media trend 5 Perfect Movies. But now screenwriter Bob Gale is closing the case for good. Many stars and filmmakers got in on the fun Twitter list for the top 5 movie suggestions to watch during quarantine, which quickly turned into a serious debate as to what makes a movie perfect. Marvel filmmaker James Gunn argued via Twitter a perfect film can be different from a favorite film or a great film, noting that a perfect film has no logical lapses, and pointed to Back to the Future as an example. Back to the Future seemingly could be imperfect, why don't mom and dad remember Marty, but I would still argue it's a perfect film because there are reasons why this could conceivably be the case. Or maybe I'm in denial, who knows? Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy star Chris Pratt even got in on the debate, providing a logical explanation for the apparent plot hole, writing, "Maybe they do remember him though, not as Marty, as Calvin. When Marty returns to present-day 1985, it could have been years since his parents would have perhaps originally noted the uncanny resemblance between their son and that kid from high school 20 years previous." Well, it looks like Pratt nailed it. Gale, the screenwriter for Back to the Future, settled the debate once and for all on Wednesday, telling The Hollywood Reporter, "Bear in mind that George and Lorraine only knew Marty Calvin for 6 days when they were 17, and they did not even see him every one of those 6 days. So many years later, they still might remember that interesting kid who got them together on their first date."
You know, that was always my headcanon anyway. That's the only way you can explain it, because I couldn't remember, like, some people I met last week, honestly. And this was 25 plus years in the past. I think it was 25 years in the past. So yeah, they're not gonna remember the face. There was no video, there was no pictures. He was in the yearbook because he was literally like trespassing on campus. He didn't have any classes or nothing like that. So yeah, the face would probably get fuzzy after the years, but that's a fair explanation. That's a good retcon. I don't think anybody
Screenwriter goes on to say that not a lot of people will remember every passing person from their high school years, especially if it had been 25 years and no photo reference. Gale concluded saying, "So Lorraine and George might think it's funny that they once actually met someone named Calvin Klein, and even if they thought their son at age 16 or 17 had some resemblance to him, it wouldn't be a big deal."
Yeah, like I said, it's a pretty good explanation. Out of that, I'd be questioning if I was George. Why does my child look like the guy that we introduced to each other? I would be getting DNA test out the yin yang. But I mean, they seem like they both liked him. Like, he was a good friend, and she obviously wanted to do him at one point. It's surprising that they didn't name their child Calvin Klein after that. But yeah. Let me know in the comments, do you love Back to the Future as much as I do? It's my perfect... Oh, I'll say this, though. There is one plot hole that I would really like to understand more. It'd be from Back to the Future 3. So, in Back to the Future 3, Marty uses the old time machine from the West and digs it up and goes back to the past in the 1800s where he goes to find Doc. So the main reason of this movie is they're trying to go back to the future, but they don't have gas. Gas is not invented for a while, and they have no way of getting to 88 miles per hour. So the whole movie is them trying to get to that speed with that DeLorean. The plot hole, though, in that, I've always wondered why there's 2 DeLoreans in that time period. Because the DeLorean that Doc came back in is still there, and it's dug up. And they dug it. That's the same DeLorean that is dug up in 1955 that Marty came in. So there's technically 2 DeLoreans in the Western right now. So my question, why didn't they just use the gas from that DeLorean and put it in this one? Because they obviously won't need it, because he's gonna go back to the past anyway. That's always been my right. Let me know in the comments, is that fair, or do you have an explanation for that? Help keep a brother off the streets. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Thank you for watching the video.